We find at the close of the portion of the week that was read yesterday, the famous story of the Akedah. This is the story where Almighty God tells Abraham to take his one and only beloved son, Isaac, and to bring him on the altar, on the mountain that he will indicate to him. And there he should bring him to be a sacrifice. And we find that Abraham, instead of delaying this, and instead of putting it off for some later date or some later time, but Vayashkem Avraham Baboika. Avraham Avinu, our great patriarch Abraham, wakes up early in the morning. He saddles his donkey. He prepares all the material that he will need for the sacrifice, namely the rope and the knife and the wood and the fire, so that when he slaughters his son, who is going to be a sacrifice before Almighty God to sanctify God's name, that everything will be in order and that everything will be kosher and according to the way it has to be done according to the halacha, according to Jewish law, the way a sacrifice has to be brought. And the Torah goes on to tell us in great detail how the story evolves. And we are told that they walk, and the third day, as they are walking along, the son Isaac says to his father, Vayomer, he says to him, Ovi, Ovi, my father, my father. And the answer that he gives to him is, Hineni, Beni, here I am, my son. And the question comes to mind, why is it that the Torah had to put this into the Torah, which we know every single letter in the Torah has a reason and a purpose that it's there. I mean, just to tell us the conversation that he said to his father, my father, my father, and his father answered him, here I am, my son. Why is this so significant? What's the big deal here? Why did they Torah have to record this? That this was the conversation, or the way they got into the conversation. And what he answers him, what he asks him of his father is, of course, he says, I see all the material, but where is the sacrifice? And the answer that his father later gives him is that Almighty God will indicate who should be the sacrifice and who should be the one, or what should be the one that's going to be sacrificed on the altar. But why did he have to tell him? Why do we need this passage here in the Torah? But my dear friends, I think that there is a very important special message that comes through, and one which I would like to share with you, my dear friends, if you permit me. We find that fathers are very busy, especially when they are preoccupied with very important business deals or personal matters that take and capture their entire being. And at that moment, if you try to talk to them, they're not around. They have no time to hear you. They have no patience to listen to you. And they just want to be left alone, or be given the opportunity to be able to complete the work that they're involved in. And here comes Torah, and Torah tells us how a father has to relate to a son. And we find that here is a moment of great tension. They are walking. And it's already not the first day. They're walking 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. They're continuously walking. And they're going and waiting to find the spot that Almighty God has indicated where the sacrifice has to be brought. But you must understand that a father that's going to slaughter his one and only son, at that very moment his heart is very heavy. And every single second that goes by and that he still has his child with him is very precious to him and very meaningful to him. And everything that happens just frightens him and upsets him. And at the moment, all of a sudden, while they are walking, his son says to him, Vayomer, Isaac turns to his father and says, Ovi, Ovi, my father, my father. What would be the response from a father who is very, very much uptight? One who is very, very much preoccupied with the thoughts, what's going to be after I slaughter? How am I going to cut his throat? How am I going to burn him? How am I going to do this? What has to be done to a sacrifice? And his head, Abraham's head, who knows where it was at that moment and what he was thinking at this moment. And what do we find? All of a sudden comes Isaac and says, Ovi, Ovi, my father, my father. The response should be to him, my son, don't bother me now. You see that I'm torn between and betwixt. You see that I'm very, very much strained. You see that the stress is killing me. My kid, don't bother me now. Yeah, well, if you want to talk to me later. You talk to me some other time, but don't talk to me now. What's the answer that Avram gives to his son? Vayomer, says the Torah, he says, Hineni, Beni, here I am, my son. I'm the same father that I was 3 days ago when we were together at the house. And no matter whatever I am personally involved in, and no matter what my feelings are, and no matter what my problems are, and no matter what my hang-ups are, and no matter what my tsuras are, my kind, Hineni, Beni, here I'm ready for you. What can I do for you, my child? I'm your father. You need me. I'm here. But you are so preoccupied. Your head is somewhere else. And you are so tight. Mein Kind, that doesn't bother me. When you are here, you get the preference. You are number one. Nothing in the world comes before my child. You are the most important thing that I have in my life. And Hineni, Beni, here I am. And he didn't say just I am, but he said, Hineni, here I am, Beni, my son. You are my son, and that's why I'm your father. And that's why Hineni, that's why I'm here. You take a look in America. When a father comes home and he sits down and watches the TV, or he is watching a football game, or he's reading a newspaper, if his kid comes over to him and he starts talking to him, he says, will you stop, get out of here, don't bother me. You see I'm doing something, you see I'm reading, you see I'm watching the show, what are you interrupting me? Get away, go ahead, you'll see me later, you'll see me some other time. You don't have time for him. The kid calls from college, he wants to talk to his father. His father says, listen, I'm here at a meeting with the board of directors. I have a big deal that I'm involved in. My son, do me a favor, call me some other time, or maybe you can talk to someone else about it. I really don't have any time, and so on and so forth. And the son on the other side says to himself, sure, my father has time for business, he has time for making money, he has time to be on the golf course, he has time to be out there with his at a luncheon, or at a dinner, or at a business meeting, but he hasn't got time for me. I am with a problem. I need someone to talk to. And there's nobody better that I want to talk to than my father. I want to hear what he has to say to me. But my father is not there. My father is telling me how busy he is and how much he's involved in a big deal. And he has to make money and he has to do things. And therefore, when I need him, he's not around. When the daughter calls the mother says, oh, my child, I'm busy. I'm going out to I have a luncheon today. I have to go out to a tea, or I'm going out to a show. I'm going out to some kind of a meeting with the girls, and we're going to go out shopping or something. I said, I'll talk to you some other time. It's okay. It could wait. It's no emergency. What do you got to talk to me? And what does the daughter think at that very moment? Sure, I'm the second-class citizen in this house. Everybody else gets priority. Her friends, her lady friends, they come first. Or shopping is more important than talking to me. Or going out to some kind of a card game, or to the beauty parlor, or to go out to some kind of a luncheon. That's more important than talking to me. What does a child like that feel? Frustrated and let down, broken up, and totally devastated. And the next time they're not going to turn to the father. The next time they're to the mother. The next time they're going to turn to a friend who's going to lead him to someone in a cult, or who's going to lead him into a non-Jewish relationship, or is going to show that there's somebody who does have an interest in them. What is important is that when your child comes to you and says, Avi, my dad, I want to talk to you. Your response, and I don't care how busy you are, and I don't care what kind of a business deal you're into, and I don't care how preoccupied you are, and I don't care how bad you're feeling or where your head is, your answer has to be, Hineni, Beni. I'm here, my son. I'm here for you. Tell me what your problem is. Tell me what you need from me. Tell me how I can help you, and I am ready to do it. And my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, this is the ruination of this generation. We have children biologically, but we expect someone else to bring them up. We expect the rabbi, we expect the teacher, we expect the psychologist, we expect the guidance counselor, we expect the therapist, we expect the psychiatrist. These are the people who we expect to train and rear our children. We're not there as a father and mother. We are too busy with our personal business. We are too busy with our own, doing our own thing. My dear friends, there's nothing more important in life than a child. Because what you can have from your child will either make you or break you. If you will bring your child up properly, you'll have nachas. And that child will give you long life, and that child will give you health, and that child will give you peace of mind, and that child will give you a purpose for living. And if God forbid that child goes astray, and if God forbid that child goes away into foreign and other fields, remember, you were the one who was responsible for that happening. And then when that child causes you a heartache and agony and tsuris, you should know that you brought it on yourself, because when your child needed you, you weren't there. And now when you want your child, he or she isn't there. And so Torah comes to teach us a lesson. Torah, you don't need the titles of psychiatrists, psychologists, all that nonsense. Torah gave us a way of life. Torah taught us how to live, how to conduct ourselves. Torah taught us how to the relationship that should exist between parents and children and parents. Ladies and gentlemen, I appeal to you. Give your child your time, your heart, your mind, your every fiber, and that will pay off for you in the long run. There shouldn't be, and there couldn't be, anything more important in life than your own flesh and blood, your son or your daughter. And may God give that you should never have any tsuris and never have any heartache and never have any problems, but you should have a great deal of true Yiddish nachas.